Great to have you with us. Now, a procurement expert and supply chain specialist, Kobnata Bedu, is calling for re-evaluation of the drone service deal. According to him, there are some inconsistencies in the agreement. He, however, said the abrogation of the contract will come at a cost to government. He spoke earlier on News Desk with Bernice Abobedu-Lanza.
It is not a bad thing. However, the process of acquiring the service could have been done better. The fact that we need water to exist doesn't mean that if I know that a bottle of water sells for 1 cedi, I should pay 100 cedis for it. It doesn't make sense. And that is why I am saying that we need to go back and look at the value for money aspect. So if you tell me that we are going to put 4 distribution centers and we are going to do 150 deliveries every day, there must be on the ground the need for the movement of 150 drugs or deliveries on the ground on an emergency basis, because this is not business as usual. This is for emergency, it's a stopgap. So there must be data to support that. I would have loved to see the data that supports that need. Then, normally in category management, by the time you are done specifying what your business requirements are, you will go for an approval. Then you would now come to the supply market and analyze the supply market.
Okay, that's the third point.
That's the third stage. Now, who is in the market who can deliver this? How do they deliver it?
Okay.
How do they build their pricing to come to the price we would get? Now, there are 3 top players in the drones market as of today. Zipline is one. Fletty is another one. Matternet is another one. Matternet is working on drone deliveries with Mercedes-Benz. So you can't tell me that they don't have capability. So if you had opened up to these people, there are 3 other companies that can easily do this. One from Iceland, one from China, and one from another country I've forgotten. So if we wanted competition, we could get competition. I hear Dr. Nsiasari say that this is a fee per service.
Yes.
So it's $17 per delivery. Okay, I go into the contract and I look at it, and it is clear that it is not a fee for service. It's a fixed contract. And the annexure that supports it makes it clear that we are paying a fixed amount of money every month based on the table they have set. Per the contract, the guys are bearing the cost of setting up the DCs. Okay. That is fixed cost and variable cost. Nobody will set up a DC and come and fold his arms, and if you haven't given him volumes, he will say, I'm not charging you for it. So it doesn't make sense in the first place. At best, at zero, your cost is higher, because you have to cover the fixed and the variable cost to a certain extent. If they are invoicing above 15 deliveries, the fixed cost is 11,000 cedis. Okay. That it's 9,000 cedis if they don't do 90 deliveries. It's 10,000 if they don't do 90 deliveries. It's 11,000 if they do 90 deliveries. Now, take that 11,000 and divide it by the 15 deliveries or above 15 deliveries. The unit cost of a delivery is $700. 733 to be precise. Move to the next level. If they do 50 deliveries, the charge is $27,000. Divide $27,000 by 50. The unit cost is $540. But the interesting is the next level. When they do 75 deliveries, the cost is $59,000. Now, if you divide it, the cost is now $786. Okay. Now, at $786, you ask yourself, in economics, as you consume successive units, the cost should be going down. Why is this one going up? When you get to above 100 deliveries per month, you are paying $88,000. The unit cost is $880 per delivery. So where is the $17 per delivery coming from? Someone has to help me understand this. It doesn't make sense to me.
Now, an insurance marketer, Edgar Redu, says the Takoradi Circuit Court judge who sat on the case of young Jeremiah failed to apply the right fines prescribed by law against the driver who crushed and chopped off the leg of Jeremiah Martha Amponta. A 62-year-old spare parts dealer veered off into the Garrison Basic School and crushed the boy against the wall 2 years ago. Jeremiah's story is the focus of Joy News' Hotline documentary for this week. The accident has left the boy traumatized and family financially drained. Edgar Redu says the judge breached the law in applying sanctions when the driver pleaded guilty to dangerous driving and negligently causing harm.
Reading through the police reports, the report talks about the action that was taken. And the action clearly states that the lady was sentenced to a fine of 1,800 Ghana. Now, the offenses have been clearly spelled out, and those offenses have their statutory units also spelled out in the Act. The minimum for that particular dangerous driving issue is 250 penalty units, and the maximum 500. So why would the judge give something less, 150 units? And I was expecting the lawyer to have seen it and then raise an objection to it, because the judge cannot go out of the statute to do as he wishes. You get it? Number two, the same law also provides that looking at the severity of what injuries the victim has sustained, the court can impose a certain conviction. That is, you would ask the culprit to pay a certain amount of compensation to the little boy or the victim. Why did the court close his eyes on that? Now that the lawyer has gone to court, I was expecting that he would have raised this issue again, because you are now, the family as it stands today are penniless, and you are in court for money. So why did you not raise that issue? Why did you not call the judge's attention that, my lord, X, Y, Z, so, and so. And now that human being is just walking around freely, and the innocent boy is suffering. I don't get it. But there again, there are other issues. The lawyer can bring a civil action against the woman. So what is he in court for? Court against the insurance company? When liability has not actually been established, whether the terms and conditions of the policy has been met. I think the lawyer should be up and doing. This is something that really baffles me. He should go back to court and ask the court to do what the law says it must do. And for me, that will be the beginning. At least the family needs to go through something. I mean, they said that if now and then they are coming back for treatment, there's no money, the father has sold his properties and all that, how do you expect the boy to survive? And is the judge also not seeing, the gravity of the matter, and then decide to do this case maybe on day-to-day basis and then finish it up? For me, there are questions that one needs to really ask the judge.
Away from that, Energy Minister John Peter Amewu has justified government's decision to award a 100 million cedi contract to a one-year-old company to supply streetlights without open competitive bidding. The minority in Parliament is questioning why government awarded the contract to Imperial World Ventures through restrictive tendering. They say the firm is a sole proprietorship company, established in 2017 without any track record. Ashaman MP Ernest Nogbe questioned the minister on the issue on the floor of the House Thursday.
Street light. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Minister. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the procurement method used in award of the contract was the restricted tendering process, which, Mr. Speaker, is in accordance with Section 38B of Act 663 of the Public Procurement Act as amended. Mr. Speaker, it is to be noted that the Ministry obtained approvals from the Public Procurement Authority and the Central Tender Review Committee prior to the award of this contract. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Yes, in conducting restrictive tendering, I want to ask the Minister whether there was post-qualification done about this particular company. Because if you are entering into restricted tendering, you must do post-qualification analysis, evaluation, capacity, capability of the company before you award the contract to that company. I want to know. I asked this question on the premise that the company was registered on the 20th April 2017. So whether this company has done any such activity before you have the confidence in the company to award such a contract worth over 100 million Ghana cedis. Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the ministry has a list of pre-qualified contractors that undertake projects as and when the ministry determines the availability of such projects. Mr. Speaker, the procurement authority, as we are aware, it's the responsible authority to grant the necessary approvals for such processes. This, Mr. Speaker, the authority has a mandate also to investigate and find out the competence in terms of qualifications, capability, core competence of some of these companies. I can assure the House that, Mr. Speaker, all these were taken into consideration both by the ministry and the authority in the award of the contract. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Your last question.
I'm not a bit clear on that regard because the minister is talking of pre-qualification and I'm talking of post-qualification. Whether there was post-qualification done on this particular company that was formed on the 4th of April 2017 to be awarded a contract worth 100 million Ghana cedis. And don't forget, the company is also a sole proprietor. It is not a limited liability. So I'm talking of post-qualification, not pre-qualification. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister, if you can distinguish the pre and the post for us.
Mr. Speaker, pre-qualifications mandates are responsibilities of ministry to determine technical, financial, core competence of companies. Post-qualification requirements are after delivery, which are based on outputs and examinations of outputs. Mr. Speaker, this have been done, and the post-qualifications are done as a result of the invoices that are received from the supplier. That is the only way you can use to judge whether the company has been able to deliver or not.
Definitely a debate there on the floor of Parliament that we'll be keeping our eye on, keeping you updated as the day progresses. You're still watching Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. Still to come, Communications Minister announces test transmission on DTT platform to begin in first quarter of 2019. There's more on that when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Now, the Narcotics Control Board says it has busted a Zimbabwean woman for attempting to smuggle 7.5 kilograms of speedball, a mixture of cocaine and heroin, into Ghana. The suspect, Cynthia Lechonga, admitted that the suitcase was given to her by one Miss Patience, her childhood friend in Zimbabwe, to be sent to an unknown person in Accra, adding that Miss Patience bought her ticket to enable her travel to Accra. The suspect was arrested on Monday, December 3, 2018 by operatives of NACOB at KIA when she disembarked from an Ethiopian Airways flight. Ms. Lechonga was accosted whilst going through arrival formalities. A search in her checked-in luggage in her presence led to the discovery of 7 parcels of brownish powdery substances suspected to be narcotics concealed in false compartments of the suitcase. Now, the substance, when tested, proved positive for speedball, a narcotic substance with a weight of 7.5 kilograms. I've been joined by Communications and Media Relations Manager of the Narcotics Control Board, NACOB, Nana Say Nkwantabisa, for more on this. Nana, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, and good afternoon to you and your cherished viewers.
So, was this woman apprehended in a routine check, or there was a tip-off?
Well, it's part of our daily normal routine, as you mentioned. We, as mandated by the law, PNDC Law 236, we are given the powers to ensure that persons or individuals traveling both outside and coming in are duly searched or ensure that they don't carry any forms of illicit drugs into or outside the country. So it's part of our job.
The routine
yes.
Operation. So has she been processed yet?
Yes, yes. We did arrest she was arrested on the 3rd of December. And you know, as part of our process, when arrests are made, we don't hurriedly put it out there. Investigations have to be taken into consideration. She did mention of an unknown person and patients. And we are currently in touch with Interpol to also clamp down on this patient with the Zimbabwean police force. And talking of whether she's in our custody or not, 2 days ago we sent her to court, and the court also, based on the evidence that we tendered to the court, remanded her because she's given out some information which has not yielded any fruitful end. So we have to...
So she's currently on remand?
Yes, she's in prison custody, pending final investigation to be taken to court.
You were mentioning that you're collaborating with the Zimbabwean authorities to track down these missed patients. Interpol
yes.
and Zimbabwean.
Yes, you know, when nationals, foreign nationals are arrested, you need to also alert their foreign missions and Interpol, because the person might not be getting up from her end and just plane to Ghana. People might have assisted him or her, and that is exactly what this lady went through. She did mention patients, which happens to be her childhood friend, and we can't go to Zimbabwe as Narcotics Control Board. We need to collaborate with Interpol, whereby Interpol have to also get in touch with this Zimbabwean police force to ensure there are millions of patients in Zimbabwe. Therefore, we need to go down with the information. There have been some information she's given, of which we didn't put all in the statement. These are some of sensitive issues, of which we are very optimistic that in the shortest time, Interpol and Zimbabwe police would be able to give us a very good information.
Now, Christmas is the season associated with travel, international travel, not being left out, and you've been cautioning the public about this issue of delivering packages on behalf of others. What should we do?
Yes, we as law enforcement agency, this incident keeps on occurring on yearly basis, not on Christmas, but festive seasons, Easter and holidays. We see that people travel a lot, and these are the times that young girls or guys, you see this lady is just 30. She could have been doing something better to profit herself and her society, but she's found herself ignorantly. She's been used by drug barons. Barons use this season to trap these innocent souls and use them. I'll buy a free ticket. There is no free lunch in this world. I'll buy a free ticket, free airtime or whatever. And also, people who want to travel outside, if you are not sure of the parcel that someone is saying that give it to a family friend or give it to this person, please. Some of your colleagues, when they are traveling, they do call me and say, what should I do? I said, let the person remove the things and check it in front of you. Because the moment you are arrested with the package, before maybe we might get the person who sent it or who gave it to you, the person might have run away after hearing that you have been accosted. So we advise that some of you challenge these people who deliver these parcels to you to either open it. If you are not sure, please don't go to take it. Otherwise, you find yourself to be.
So, if we want to contact you or find you, if we have any of such suspicions, what do we do?
Yes, we have our active lines, of which we can put out there. We have basically we normally deal with the emails, nacopprotocolgh@gmail.com, and also we have 0299, which is of a security number, 401702 These are some of the lines that when you have information. And let's also assure the public that if you give us information, we are not going to disclose your identity. People say that when you bring information, you'll be exposed, or that. No, we will rather reward you. We will rather encourage you, not necessarily that we want to go and tell the baron that is this person or that. No, that is not. We are professionally trained.
Now, before you go though, this drug that she was arrested with, speedball.
Yes.
It's the first time I am hearing of it. I mean, with this story, is this the new trend of when it comes to drug trafficking?
Speedball has been in existence, and cocaine is an expensive commodity. Heroin is also an expensive commodity. So imagining bringing these two commodities together is going to get on
very expensive.
Very expensive. We wouldn't like to delve into the amount because it's over 7 kilo is quite a huge.
That was what I was going to ask. Yes, actually,
we wouldn't. Yes, it's quite a big amount. We always want to appeal to you, the media, that we don't want to be giving the amount because people are yearning to get into this, hearing of hundreds of $1,000s with this. They may be eagering to go. So we will beg of you not to be getting into. But the street value, the weight is 7.5. Yes, it's quite a huge. Speedball is an expensive commodity, and people, because of its high demand, it's few people who have the money. Those who have the money are able to carry it along.
You work with NACOB and you are familiar with some of these drugs. Are they consumed locally, or Ghana is a transit point?
Well, yes, Ghana is a transit point. We wouldn't run away from that. From South America, people, when they get it, they can't take it direct. When you come to East Africa, Asia, they all bring it down to West Africa through Ghana and repackage it to Northern America and Europe as well.
Is it not because we are doing something wrong in our ports? Why are we such a convenient transit point?
I beg to differ by you saying convenient, meaning we are not up to task. But I can assure you, Narcotics Control Board, we are not the only security agency operating at the various point of entries. We have other related security agencies. Our mandate is to ensure that people suspected to be carrying these drugs are stopped from taking it out or bringing them in. However, we are not relenting on our duty. We are ensuring that yes, there might be some spillover, but that doesn't mean that we are weak. We are actively working, and what we have done this year is very commendable. I'm not here to praise ourselves, but you and I would attest that from January to date, Narcotics Control Board, we have done excellent job to benefit them, not to NACOB, but to the nation at large.
Thank you very much, Nana Kantabisa.
It's a pleasure.
In charge of communications for the Narcotics Control Board, NACOB. Now, Minister for Communications, Esther Oso-Ekufo, has announced that transmission on the digital terrestrial television DTT platform will begin in the first quarter of 2019. Speaking at the Meet the Press series in Accra, she noted that applications for access to the platform has increased from with international networks such as the BBC and CNN agreeing to localize their content. Still watching Joy News today. We'll move you straight to this story, and available statistics indicates that more than 3,000 cases of cervical cancer is recorded annually, with more than half of those diagnosed not surviving due to late presentation. The situation has compelled many health officials to encourage early diagnosis and treatment. Marie Stopes International has collaborated with local NGO Berry Sexual Reproductive Health Foundation to educate students and market women on the disease and other cancers. Prince Apia has more in this report.
Health experts say the cancer virus can stay in the body of an infected person for about 10 to 15 years before symptoms start to show. Erica Awindo is an official of Marie Stopes International.
So we are here teaching the students how to do their self-breast examination and also to do cervical cancer screening. As for cervical cancer, when you have it as a woman, you cannot identify it yourself. And it takes a long time, 10, 15, 20 years before you can see symptoms. So we are here to educate the women about the disease or the condition, and then we also screen them so that we can catch the disease early. That is if they have the disease. So that when we catch it early, we can treat it and then they will be free.
Madam Awindo spoke at a screening and sensitization exercise for market women and students of Christian Service University College. Dr. Makavu Itevia is the founder of Berry's Sexual and Reproductive Foundation.
One of the reasons why we formed this foundation was to sensitize people and make sure that people get to the hospital or visit the hospital for counseling and for checkups, because we realized that there are so many people who get busy with their work, and because they are very busy with their work, they hardly will go to the hospital for checkups. So that at the end of the day, when we have screening for them, and then they find out the results and they have to do follow-up to the hospital, they will do the follow-up to the hospital. By that, the foundation thinks that would save a lot of future situations and tragedies.
Women's Commissioner at Christian Service University College, Edith, was excited with the partnership.
A free screening for our students, and then create the awareness on how to go about it if you have a breast cancer, and then also get the students to know that they are not left out if they couldn't do it outside anywhere. So that's how come we brought it here. We want our students to be fit to learn and then be comfortable in the school.
Participants were also screened on other diseases like hepatitis B. Daniel Frimpong is business manager for Sachs Healthcare Services and Mackenzie Hospital.
We've come to the realization that people are even testing negative for the hepatitis B, but they are failing to take the injections as usual. Our little advice is that it will be a waste of time for you to just do a normal test and not take the vaccine, for the reason that if you are negative, tomorrow you can be positive, unless you go in for the vaccine, which can protect you for the next 5 years, and then you take the booster, which can take you for the next 10 years. So
Prince Apia reporting.
So watching Joy News today with me, Daniel Daz. The latest updates coming in on this story, and tensions were higher as 4 residents of Fuase killed in February this year during a protest over relocation of district capital of the Echima Kwawoma district to nearby Chedie were laid to rest. Angry residents were charged and incensed when the government's delegation led by the Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei Mensah arrived as a funeral ground in the company of 2 uniformed police officers. It took the intervention of the National Peace Council, traditional leaders and military to calm angry residents, some who hooted as the delegation, which also include the Deputy Local Government Minister Akwesi Boateng AEC. We'll bring you more on that story in later bulletins. Now, it's time for Daryl Kwao to bring us a business, and he'll be telling you about how ADB is moving to ensure it meets its minimum capital requirement. Stay with us.